Okay, let's proceed with our nighttime activity. So I believe that was last night that we got the ability to go out to Yongenjaya at night. Sojiro says to make sure we don't stay out too long. We have to stick around here. I wish we could go check out the nightlife in Shibuya or something. But nope, we're limited to Yongenjaya. And there really isn't a whole lot to do. I believe you could go buy some stuff from Takumi. She's still open, I think. I don't think you can go to the batting cages. Excuse me. That's right, they close at night. This store is closed. It kind of looks like it's open, but it's not. I don't think you can actually buy anything there. Maybe at one point. This theater is not open, by the way. And not just because it's at night, it's just not open, period. Though it may become open in the future. But as it is, there is not a whole lot you can do at night. But one thing you can do is go across the street over here to the bathhouse. I'll actually take the small moment here to buy the items at this vending machine.
Wow.
So yes, the bathhouse. Using the bathhouse. Using the bathhouse will cause time to pass, but you can improve your charm. The fee to use the bath is 500 yen. The effects you get from the bath depend on factors such as the day of the week and the weather. On Mondays and Thursdays, the bath will be a medicinal bath. You will gain more charm than usual on these days, so try to aim for that. Something special will occur when it is raining. Be sure to visit the bathhouse on a rainy day and see for yourself.
Oh.
Although what I said was more correct, rainy night, because you actually can't come to this location during the day, I believe. Let's go in and see what happens. You can now fast travel here. This mugwort bath is warming my body.
Oh.
I smell good too, and I'm looking great. Look at that. So on most nights you come here, you get +2 in your charm, but when it's a medicinal bath, you get +3. And there will be other effects depending on the weather. So I am now head turning.
Wanna head back?
Not a terrible event.
Morning.
I am new to it after all. Suddenly with nothing to do. We're still awaiting the results of Kamoshida's heart change. I'm sure things are going to be okay. Let's have a great day. Okay, first up, let's make a quick little trip around Tokyo. First to the courtyard, so we can get those SP replenishing items and use them again in the future. Now we can go over to the arcade. They're the only ones I've yet to buy. So what is on tap today? Not a whole lot. We are left without much to do. If we check the map, we see we have no confidants available at the moment. So let's head back out to Central Street. And down the street here to the right is the diner that we heard about.
Oh.
Visiting the diner. Visiting the diner will cause time to pass. Studying here will improve your knowledge, and dining in can improve your guts and other stats. Visiting the diner costs money. Your knowledge will greatly increase when customers are fewer. Try studying here on rainy days. Which is not today. There's something I want to check first, real quick. Gotta make sure. Okay, good. I needed to have a Hierophant persona on me at this exact moment, because I will not get another opportunity to have one before tonight. Let's go in. Now fast travel here. So the diner is one of the best locations in the game. I will be coming here several times. It's pretty busy around here, because it's not a rainy day. So you get a little menu here to pick what you want, and over time, later in the game, more items are added. And the effects you get depend on the item, obviously. So hot coffee, coffee with free refills. Loitering around may build guts. And the nostalgic steak, a Salisbury steak, just like Grandma made it. You feel kindness. Yeah, like in the Japanese version, the name was something like that. It was like Grandma's steak or something like that. So, what do I want to say? Oh, right. The rainy day effect. What's so great about the diner is the way it works is you get +2 in your knowledge, and then +1 in whatever other stat that order affects. So, in this case, hot coffee is +1 guts, and the steak is +1 kindness. When it's raining, you then instead get +3 knowledge, and then +1 into another stat. So this is a really good location. Obviously, it costs money, so when I'm writing my guide, and I keep saying things like, this is a really expensive playthrough, this is what I mean. So when I see people doing things like studying at LeBlanc, which is something I'm never going to do, but that's the basic activity. At night, you can study at LeBlanc at one of the booths downstairs, as long as there aren't other customers. I think as long as you're not bothering anyone, Sojiro will let you do that. I think you get +2 kindness, and it's free. You can do it, and it'll pass the time, and it'll help your knowledge. Or you could come here and get +2 knowledge +1 other stat for a fee, though, because this is not free. And that's what I mean when I'm like, expensive playthrough. If you want the most optimal results, it's going to cost you money. And that's how, when I was streaming the game when it first came out, people saw me. I got to the summer, I got to right before the third palace. I was broke. I had no cash. I was selling consumables to get by. It was really rough. I'm trying to prevent that this time. Now I know a little bit better to avoid that. But anyway, I digress. Let's continue. Today we are ordering the hot coffee, and we will... I think we're ordering hot coffee. No, I'm ordering the steak. Good thing I checked that. And we will get +2 kindness and... or excuse me, +2 knowledge and +1 kindness. This is also why... me being a elitist snob jerk when it comes to Persona, I will scoff and upturn my nose when I see people playing the game wrong. Not really, but like, won't name any names, but I saw a YouTube account that was like, Persona 5 walkthrough, come check my videos out. And I was like, alright, I'll see see how this guy's spending his time. And then I saw him like doing a crossword puzzle at LeBlanc, and I'm just like, that's a waste of time. That is not an optimal event. It's like, why would you do that when you could come to the diner and get even more stats?
Hey.
And this is also what I meant by very early in the game when I was like, we're going to see a whole lot of Persona 5, but we're not going to see everything. Because, as I said, some events are, quote, air quotes here, non-optimal in that they don't give you enough stats. So, for example, later in the game, when you get the ability to visit Akihabara, there is a maid cafe there. And it's a fun little place. Atlas Japan showed it off in a video before the game came out over there last year. And I think like the way it works, I've only done it maybe like once or twice in the Japanese version, is you go there and you order something at the maid cafe, and the maids are like, hello master, and there's a really goofy upbeat song playing. And they always like mess up your order or something, and you get like depending on how you answer, you get like a stat for one thing, and then you get like a stat for being like kind and forgiving the maid for messing up your order. And it's a fun, goofy little event, but it doesn't give you as many stats as just going to the diner in Shibuya gives you, so we're not going to see it during this playthrough. And that's what I mean when it's like, you know, we're going to play this game really efficiently, but we're not going to see everything because of that reason. Like, we won't get the opportunity to see every single movie that plays. We will not once see a single DVD that you can rent and watch in your room. Because, like I said, I took into account for the fact that the books grant a trophy. And sometimes the books can be a little bit more easy to get through because you get opportunities to read them on the train. You also get opportunity to, later in the game, get to goof off in class and read them during, like, a lecture or while another teacher's out of the room for a few seconds or whatever. So, I mean, those are just examples of what I mean of, like, we're not going to get to see everything. There's so much in this game. Alright, what are we doing tonight? That's right, because I made the point to make sure I have my Hierophant persona on me. Let me check the TV real fast. Happy Central Rock. The first shogi player to use that move was the kind of person who's always smiling. Okay, that's just fun trivia. I made the point to have a Hierophant on me because we're going to spend time with Sojiro tonight, and if you don't have it on you right now, you can't go get it because you can't leave Yongan-jaya, and there's no Velvet Room entrance here in Yongan-jaya. You would think there'd be one. I mean, it's where the hero lives, but they stuck it in Shibuya, so what can you do about it? Okay, let me save.
Just add this.
Learn how to work here. So he's going to teach me the ropes here. Let's help out Chief. Or Boss, as Sojiro is commonly referred to. Now, I think we'll hear that a little bit more in the game where people will call Sojiro Boss.
Well,
and I think what it is it's a reference that did not carry over into the localization as well. And the reason for that is that, if I'm not mistaken, Sojiro's voice actor was shared in Japanese. His Japanese voice actor, I should say, is the same one, talking about making coffee, is the same one as the voice actor for the character Boss from Catherine, which I guess if you're familiar with Atlas, that's like common sense. But if you don't know, the 2011 game Catherine, it's a very weird puzzle game about a man named Vincent Brooks who has been a long-standing relationship with a woman named Catherine with a K, and then he finds himself sort of cheating on her and accidentally getting into a relationship with a girl named Catherine with a C, and it turns into this big whole ordeal, and the core essential gameplay is puzzling and whatnot. Anyway, I'm sure if you're familiar with Catherine, you know that, and if you're a big Atlas fan, you obviously know that. But Catherine, and I've seen like some people who are kind of new to Persona or new to these games be like, Persona 5, this game looks like Catherine, blah, 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 blah. I've even seen people claim that it ripped it off. It's like, no, you idiot. Catherine is literally Persona 5's tech demo. It is made by it's an Atlas game made by the exact same core of people. The director of Persona, Katsura Hashino, who also was a lead on Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, and Persona 3 and 4, then Catherine, and then Persona 5. This is the game that they made, or Catherine was the game that they made between P4 and P5, and Catherine's existence was really to... It's not made on the same engine, for one. People sometimes make that mistake. They say Catherine, or Persona 5 is on the Catherine engine. No, it's not. Catherine ran on Gamebryo, and Persona 5 runs on its own custom engine that Atlas built in-house. But Catherine was really a tech demo in the sense that Atlas didn't have any experience making HD games, like widescreen games with higher resolutions. And we're going to get into some more important content here, so I'll be quiet here. So Sojiro's into some... He's got some problems in his personal life that we're going to learn about through his confidant. As does everyone, by the way.
Jeez.
He seemed friendly. No, he did not, actually. He seemed very suspicious, in fact. Yes, teach me the way of the coffee bean. I will finish my thought in a second here. Ladies love a guy who knows his coffee. Sojiro, ever the ladies' man. I want the ladies to love me.
Huh.
He's down with it. He'll teach me how to work. Actually, in some respects, we have to teach ourselves. Anyway, as I was saying, I feel like my bond with Sojiro is growing deeper. So we now have Hierophant rank 2. Hierophant rank 2, Coffee Basics, allows you to make coffee which slightly restores SP to one ally. As I said, perhaps you could make the case that learning how to make this coffee is more valuable than money anyway, because your selection in terms of buying SP replenishing items is very limited. Now you can make some. I will make just a couple. Later in the game, you can make even more and do it a bit more freely without any sort of you know, repercussions. You can do it without passing time. You'll see. The ABCs of brewing coffee. You can brew coffee at the counter in Leblon. You will be unable to brew coffee during the day and after school when the cafe is open. Try brewing at night when the coffee gear is free. In other words, when there aren't a lot of customers around. Anyway, after learning about customer service from Sojiro, I feel like my kindness has improved. Another great effect of confidants is some of them give you stats in your social thing. I am now considerate. Alright. So Catherine. Part of the reason that Catherine was developed is so, again, Alex could learn how to make these types of games. And I believe in an interview last year, the director Hashino said that they had to learn how to actually model characters of this like size and resolution from the art designer Sojima's art, and that was all kind of new to them. So Catherine was like really a reference point, and if you look really closely, you see that a lot of the Catherine characters have very similar physical designs to Persona 5 characters, and that is not by accident. The most obvious being that the P5 hero looks like a younger version of the main character Vincent Brooks from Catherine, but with glasses. And minus the scruff. And then of course there's Catherine-based costume DLC, and then it's really apparent how similar they look. So anyway, people sometimes made the mistake of, you know, P5 looked too much like Catherine, and they're like, no shit, of course it does. Anyway, the whole reason I started talking about Catherine is because Sojiro, who sometimes goes by Boss, shares the same Japanese voice actor as the character from Catherine named Boss, so I'm pretty sure they wrote that in as a reference. Especially because Boss and Catherine is like the owner of a bar, and he's always behind the bar calling shots, you know. Raising the social stats. Your knowledge, charm, proficiency, kindness, and guts will come in handy throughout the game. Be sure not to neglect them. You can train these stats through various activities in the city, reading books, and more. Look around and see what you can find. Already well ahead of the curve on that. Of course it does. What do you think I've been doing for the last 2 weeks? And when I said, like, Catherine's got the same core as Persona 5, I mean, it really has the same core. We're talking same director, same chief programmer, same character designer, same composer. It's all the same, as it was for Persona 4 and 3. And on some respects, people were, I understand that, I guess it would have been nice for, how should I say it, if Persona 5 was put in development a little earlier than it was. Because, like, obviously Catherine came out and it was still the prime of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. It was a multi-plat, by the way. It was on both systems. So you could make the case that, like, you know, like, I wish that was Persona 5. I wish Persona 5 wouldn't have been 8 years after vanilla Persona 4. But, you know. Okay, so this is a weird question. How many colors does it take to paint every region without any two adjacent ones being the same color? This would be 4. To be honest, I have tried to figure this out on my own, and I'm too stupid to understand it.
This is it.
Correct.
What I wanted to say is that I'm actually very thankful for a game like Catherine to exist, because Catherine is freaking cool. That is a very unique game that we... I mean, I don't want to say that there's nothing like it, because from a gameplay standpoint, there probably are other puzzle games that are similar, but not in terms of its presentation of, like, it's this puzzle game that is formatted into, like, a big Japanese... Not a big, it's not a super long game, it's like maybe 10 hours or something. It's no Persona, you know, it's not a fucking 70-hour, 80-plus hour game or whatever. But it is a nice, you know, fruitful story. It's got a lot of meat on it. It has custom animation built into it. It's got its own share of animated scenes, just like P5 does.
All right.
It's really cool, and it's unique. And trust me, if you haven't played Catherine recently, if you played it before or you've never played it, go back and play it now after this game. After you've either played P5 for yourself or you've watched all this, and you will see the seams. You will see just how clearly, like, that game was a tech demo for Persona 5. They just look and feel similar. Like, the things where Vincent often gets text messages, and he's often, you know, replying to messages from one of the two Catherines. And it's like, you know, oh, I can feel the similarities between this and that. It's really good. You can kind of see how they're, like, experimenting with the idea of creating really stylish user interfaces for games of this magnitude at this resolution. Very cool. Alright, so 427, what are we doing today? We are going to spend a little bit of time with Ryuiji. I don't think there's anything else I need to do. Make sure I have the required persona, of course. Trusty Slime. This is not going to be a rank up. Just having to wait doesn't jive with me. So he wants to hang out. He's in the hallway. We can go right away. This will just shortcut us to right in front of him. Like I said, this is not a rank up. This is unavoidable filler time.
Oh, hey. Hey.
Let's hang out.
Wanna get going?
If you excuse me, I'm going to actually fast forward through these kinds of events because nothing happens. It's just, you're standing around, hanging out. You say like, oh, I feel like our bond's going to be stronger soon. And that's it. So we'll just save 30 seconds there.
Ah, you're back.
Alright, so now we have our evening to ourselves. Okay. So last night, Sojiro said we need to learn how to make coffee, and we're going to do that. So rather than hang out with him, he's got the little icon to hang out with him above his head, but that's kind of a misnomer. You can't actually spend time with him until you manually yourself spend some time messing around with the coffee. So you saw I was just in front of the coffee siphon. I got to spend a night doing that. Let me check out the TV, though. A report about Inokashira Park. That's one of the locations you can go to in the game. You can read about it, or you can be introduced to it by a confidant. One of our confidants will take us there in the not-too-distant future, actually.
Wow.
So one of the things you need for this event, I would recommend, is, I mean, you should have it on you already because I was hanging out with Sojiro last night, but you should have a Hierophant persona on you when you do train in coffee, because you do get some points towards Sojiro's confidant when you do this. So brewing coffee. Brewing coffee will cause time to pass, but will make a special coffee that restores SP. This may prove useful for exploring palaces.
Hey!
I'll brew some coffee. Help yourself. So he's got all sorts of beans over there on the back shelf. So you got to do this at least once. We'll do it a few times through the game. See the hero.
Yes. All right.
Brews himself some nice coffee. And the Japanese version, that's where Jun Fukuyama would go, Yosh! Oh, this is perfect timing. And this completely ties in when I'm like, you know how Sojiro's kind of like Boss from Catherine? Well, watch this. We just got our item, by the way. So this will happen a few times. This will not happen every time that you brew coffee, but I think like the first 4 times in the game you do this, he will come in, try out what you brewed. He's able to tell what bean it is just from the flavor. This is Blue Mountain.
Let me explain.
This is so Catherine-like, it hurts. You get little trivia on the coffee that you've brewed, which is very much like the cocktail facts in Catherine. So, Jamaican Blue Mountain. The Blue Mountains of Jamaica... Oh, fuck. Can I go back? Yeah, I can. The Blue Mountains of Jamaica have a unique climate and volcanic soil advantageous for growing their famous high-quality coffee. The coffee undergoes a rigorous inspection process and is harvested in small quantities. This produces a rich coffee with a full aroma. So much like Catherine. I love it. And of course, Catherine, like the only walkable physical location you can be at in Catherine, there are the confidant points, by the way, is a bar, is the Stray Sheep is what it's called, which is, it's actually bigger than LeBlanc, but it's kind of similar, you know. It's not drastically different. You got a bar, and you got some booths. So the confidant points that we got, that +2, it's only +1 if you don't have a Hierophant on you. So that's why I'm like, take the Hierophant when you do this, just to be safe. And Sojiro, by the way, is the confidant I was alluding to earlier when I was like, you know, sometimes there is a lot of time between rank ups. He's a real stickler. His is the toughest to rank up, I think. Not counting the automatic ones, obviously. But some of his early ones, there's like a big point gap between rank ups, and you really gotta spend some, you know, side time or brew some coffee with him, you know, whatever, before you get your next rank up. And even though it is one of the first confidants you establish, we won't be finishing it until much later in the game. His is also one of the ones that I'm the most split on. Like earlier when I was first explaining the confidant system, I said how, unlike P3 and P4, you have that new added value of the benefits all the confidants get you on top of, you know, say how much you just like a character. Sojiro's one of the toughest because I would say Sojiro's confidant abilities, the benefits of it, aren't that great, to be honest. I think they're less beneficial than other ones. That said, as a character, Sojiro's really good, and his confidant's really really enjoyable. You know, it's easy when you like a character a lot and they give you a lot of good benefits, or when you think a character's kind of boring and their confidant doesn't give you things that you like all that much. That's when it's really easy. It's when it's split down the middle that it kind of sucks. Where it's either you like them but not their abilities, or you like their abilities and not them. That's when, if you're not working on a schedule like I am, that's when it's like, oh man, who do I spend time with?
Really?
Alright. April 28th. We got a little bit of continued free time, 4 days until the change of heart. Today we will hang out with Ryuiji yet again. I'm sure he's one of our messages. We have a message from Takumi, but I'm going to ignore it. gonna be a jerk and just not reply to her message. So Ryuiji wants to talk. Well, more like I gotta unload all this crap off my chest. Why don't we grab some ramen? You know, shake things up. I'll take you over to a special shop now. That sounds really good. So, we heard a little bit about the park on the TV show, and I said a confidant would take us there. There are two ways that you can unlock locations in Tokyo. Some of them are unavoidable, some locations will be unlocked as the main story progresses, but other locations will be unlocked one of two ways. You can read about them in a book, or you can have a confidant take you there, either as a main part of their own confidant or as like an optional event. Sometimes people will like, you know, call you up on Saturday night and be like, hey, you want to go to this place tomorrow? And you can accept or not. Anyway, Ryuiji, this is going to be an example of Ryuji's confidant taking us to a place that we haven't been before. So let's go with him to this ramen restaurant. It's in Oki-ku-bo. There it is. We have a new location. Oki-ku-bo, a quiet and convenient residential district with famous ramen shops. Lip-smacking good ramen. The deep flavor of old-style soy broth is worth the long wait in line.
All right.
There are a number of hangout spots in the city, such as shops, event venues, landmarks, and so on. Confidants will each have their own hangout spot that they like. If you go there with them, your bond will grow deeper than usual. You can find out about hangout spots by having confidants invite you there, or by reading about them in books, which I explained. Try to find as many as you can. There's also a trophy for unlocking every spot in the game, which is pretty easy. Go ahead and screenshot that. Yeah, we kind of heard a bit of a tail end of a conversation amongst those former track kids. A kid named Nakaoka maybe getting picked on or something along those lines. Are you worried about him? I feel like my bond with Ryuiji is growing deeper. Chariot rank 4. Punk talk. Chance to step in after shadow negotiation fails, allowing a retry. This is a skill that a lot of party members have in some form or fashion. It's all named differently depending on the character. But a lot of them have the ability to help you out in your negotiation.
Alright.
It's not guaranteed. It's not like, oh, automatically the next time I fail, Ryuiji will step in. It's a chance to step in. Overall, I would say that On has the best abilities when it comes to that. I believe she gets like 2 different versions of that.
See ya!
Ah, you're back.
Alright, let's save. It's been a couple days. We are at 11 hours, 13 minutes. So it is Thursday, so if you were paying attention, and you remember what we had heard earlier in the week, you know that that means there is a medicinal bath going on across the street. So let's get in on that. This mugwort bath is warming my body.
Whoa.
Same dialogue. Get another +3 towards our charm.
Wanna head back?
Alright, we have a Friday. It's a holiday for some reason. I might have missed what it was. Someone might have said it. Let's go downstairs. I could have done this at the TV upstairs, but I'll do it here. So, I kind of said this, I think, like in part 1, but there are a handful of Easter eggs in this game. A little bit more than a handful, I guess, if you count all sorts of Easter eggs. Here's one of them on the TV. There are several that appear on the TV. I doubt that I know all of them. In fact, I know of this one today. I know a bunch in the last few weeks in the game. They really shove them in there. There might be some that go on in the middle of the game somewhere that I don't know about or haven't spotted. I always, not always, but I have often told people on Twitter, put it on my timeline, like, hey, if you know of any that I don't know about, like, send me a screenshot and tell me about it, you know, because I want to know. But I've tried to take note of as many of these as possible in the guide so that Persona fans can check these out. So if you haven't played a previous Persona game, this event might not mean too much to you, but this is cool. This is a nice little Easter egg for you. So I'll read this aloud. Hey there, next up is our special feature on the boy who's set to be the next Detective Prince. The original Detective Prince was Naoto Shirogane, but people are excited about this new one. My daughter's a big fan of the new Detective Prince. He's a sleuth in high school and so handsome. That sounds like me. Anyway, Naoto Shirogane was, of course, a party member from Persona 4. I don't know if I should say more than that. I don't know. If you haven't played Persona 4, I highly recommend it. And like I said, there are several TV events like that where you have some sort of reference to a previous character in a Persona game. And a lot of them are near the end of the game, so there's a good chance I've missed some in the middle. Where are we going? Let me check out my schedule a little bit. Okay, we're going to Shibuya. And today is a Friday. I got thrown off because I thought it might be a Sunday, and I was like, shit, don't I gotta go buy the drink? But it's Friday. It's a holiday. Went to the wrong location. Let's go to the Central Street. sorry, you get thrown out over on this entrance. We'll head over to the arcade. And here's Ryuiji. He will come out here to hang out on holidays when you're not at school.
Oh, hey.
What do you want to do? Let's hang out with Ryuiji, and we will get to see an example of kind of what we were talking about earlier when it comes to taking confidants somewhere. So I get this option here of let's go somewhere fun, or let's train. Let's train would lead to an event that was similar to the one we saw a couple hangouts ago, where they're just standing around, nothing happens, they don't talk about anything, and then it's like, your bond will be closer soon. Or we could do this.
Yeah.
This is what the game was sort of talking about. So sometimes between rank ups you get these opportunities to go to a hangout spot. When you learn about a hangout spot, you can go there with one of your confidants. Hangout spots can be selected from the map. Each confidant has their own preferences. Keep that in mind when visiting a spot with a confidant. And obviously, as you get more spots unlocked, you can take people to all sorts of places. Though sometimes, you know, some people won't want to go someplace and other people won't go one place, you know. But we can go right back to that place we were just at, Oki-ku-bo, again. And rather than a rank up, it'll be more of an optional event. But it is a unique conversation we'll get. It's you get to see a unique scene with unique dialogue. And we'll also get one other thing. Oh, and it actually costs money. You have to pay for the subway travel there. So 260 yen. Not a big deal, but whatever.
Let's go.
Not nothing, so.
Whoa.
Doing the same thing 2 days in a row, but it just works out this way. He's really into the ramen. And during these events, you will have a short conversation where you get to pick a response as usual. And these conversations are really easy to figure out when it comes to picking the response that'll make the person the most happy. It's usually super obvious, so just say, I'm in love, with the soy sauce flavor, I mean. And just like other confidant events, you're going to want to carry your matching arcana into these. They work on the same principle. So here's the unique thing. Sometimes, at certain locations with certain people, you will earn yourself a little something something. A little bit of a gift. So he's given us a ramen bowl. It is a decoration that you can put on display in your room. In this playthrough, we will get a lot of these. Most of them towards the end of the game, but pretty much I will have the fully decked out room at the very end of the game. And as you can see, our relationship with Ryuiji will grow stronger soon. So that was a fruitful event. I've helped advance the confidant. I got myself a gift. All's good. So more people talking about the breakdowns. I can't mash through this. Though I think if I hit fast forward, it does go slightly faster. All of these are usually kind of samey. They're always about whatever the current state of the main story is.
Ah, you're back.
So let's go up to the room, and I will show you the gift. What you do is you come to the shelf here. You always come to the shelf, no matter what kind of gift it is. Some of the items do go on the gift, but on the shelf rather, and some of them go in other places. but to set them up, you have to come to the shelf. So we got our first gift, the ramen bowl. And there you go, it goes right in the middle. I'm just a man with a bowl of ramen on a shelf. And that's it. Okay. We're gonna do the coffee event again.
Hey.
Let's brew some coffee.
Oh.
Get ourselves some more coffee trivia.
Whoa.
Yes. All right.
Yosh. More LeBlanc coffee. So what kind of trivia we get tonight?
Let me explain.
Guatemalan SHB, strictly hard bean, SHB, is a grade given to coffee grown at a high altitude of 4,500 feet above sea level. Thanks to the environment it's grown in, the coffee produced has a citrus-like acidity with a fruity chocolate flavor. That sounds good. I don't know a whole lot about gourmet coffee, to be honest. Get 2 more points into his confidant. Which he actually needs, by the way. And this is also a very optimal event because we couldn't hang out with him regularly tonight.
Well then.
And we got coffee out of it. We got another seat on the train, which means we can read a book. Let's read The Alluring Dancer. When she danced, all of the men fell at her feet.
Wow. Hey, hey.
Efficient use of time.
Morning.
The board meeting is the day after tomorrow. What if we failed? We have to believe. Yes, I would rather not be expelled, please.
Hi, everyone.
Everyone's favorite teacher, Miss Chono. Yeah, she teaches English, and in the Japanese version of the game, she would speak some very poor English. Maybe I should have played with the Japanese audio. That way we could have heard that poor English, and it would counteract my poor Japanese.
Let's hear it.
So, are you a wonder kid? So break down the word, basically. This is also one of those responses that has multiple parts to it. Figure out what it means. the wonder part. So what does wonder, W-U-N-D-E-R, mean from German? The same as English, wonder with an O. But not like the act of wondering, but the descriptive wonder. Would be child. Like in kindergarten. So what would be a wonder kid? What would be a wondrous child? Why, that would be a prodigy. Although you could make the case that it is a Persona user. Persona users are pretty special.
That's correct.
I'm pretty smart. Didn't expect that. You might not be too bad.
Nice going.
Give me my knowledge point. The English word talent didn't originally have anything to do with our modern concept of celebrity. Interesting. But the ability to change one's mask depending on the situation is certainly a talent given to one by God. Okay, settle down, Morgana. We still have 2 days until the expulsion.
Really?
So, no new messages. But, let's go over to the clinic. Even if she didn't message me, she's gonna spend time with me anyway. Isn't that right, Takumi? What am I here for today? For a clinical trial. Let's hang out with her.
Please head to the exam room.
The inside of my mouth feels like it's burning, and my nose is itchy.
Oh. Hello?
What was that about?
Oh.
Seems fishy. Here we go. So remember when Igor, I think it was Igor, was like, you know, your confidants, your contacts in the real world, they may be like you. They may have lost a place to belong in society. So we see how that sort of pertains to Takumi. What do you mean? Yeah, tell me about this medical error. Well, I need the medicine.
You're right.
It feels like my bond with Takumi is growing even deeper. Death rank 3. Sterilization. Adds more healing items to the clinic.
All right.
Hello? Huh?
An order of teriyaki chicken. I feel like cooperating in that shady clinical trial has increased my guts.
Take care.
Alright. Actually, I want to make a quick trip right back there if I can.
Back.
Sojiro offering to show me the ropes. Let's go back to the clinic. I want to see how that changes her shop inventory. Let me buy something, please.
Please head to the exam room. Okay. Which one?
Okay, so it added these 3 new ones. Remove stat
Why do you
buffs
have
from a
such
foe.
serious look on your face?
Remove stat debuffs from an ally. And restores 100% HP to all allies. That's a really good item. Expensive though.
Take care.
So let's head back to LeBlanc. I'm gonna check out the TV real quick. Oh, it's Featherman. This universe's, you know, take on the Power Rangers. The Sentai whatevers. I think Featherman's been a Persona thing in the Persona universe, I should say, since P2, Innocent Sin. Anywho, so tonight we're gonna hang out with Sojiro. And this will be our rank up. This will be our final activity for today. For the part, I mean, for the video.
All right then.
Three factors that determine the flavor for a cup of coffee: grind, heat, and time. Here's a easy response. All you have to do is read what he was saying. Said medium fine. I was listening.
Sorry.
Obviously not a date. No need to be cheeky. Is it trouble? I feel like my bond with Sojiro is growing deeper. Hierophant, rank 3.
All right.
The rest is on you.
Well, that wraps it up for that day. So we have ourselves a relaxing Sunday. We will take care of that on the next video, and we are one day away from learning what the effects are with the Kamoshida change of heart, what all the fallout is going to be, since tomorrow was the supposed board meeting where we were going to be expelled. So that's where we will pick up in the next video, and for now, we're done here.